Oh, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another vlog from the Veg Grower Podcast. Now, yesterday I took you on a tour of the modern day Victory Garden. Today I'm on the allotment. I thought I'd take you on a tour of what's going on here because I've spending a lot of time trying to get on top of the weeds here. Now I'm at the very top of my allotment, and this area has always been quite difficult to try and keep on top of the weeds. I've trimmed it about a week or so ago, and I just left the lawn clippings or the trimming clippings where they were, and that seemed to help. It started to grow again now, so I've got to get in here with the trimmer and trim it again, and keep doing that regularly. We should be able to keep on top of it. Where the grass is growing in between the gooseberries, it's proving quite difficult there to get the grass bits out, because obviously the spikes on the gooseberries, just one of those things that is really annoying, but part of what goes on. But the gooseberries have got more tiny fruitlets on them, which means we'll soon be eating gooseberries, which very welcome. Just got to hope I can pick them quick enough, because I do tend to get quite a few gooseberries. Rhubarb is also off to a pretty good start here. These ones don't do so well as some of my others, but they are growing. And also the currant bushes, they're producing some currants now, so rather pleased with that. Now I'm just going to take a walk down the side of the allotment, of the main bed, shall we say. Now here I've got a bit of empty space there, which is going to be where I'm going to put some more of my brassicas, which hopefully I'll get in on Wednesday. I've got a lot planned for Wednesday. But just in front of these, I've got some onions. Now these onions were leftover sets, and I planted those, I think it was about December or January. Bit late to normal. Didn't really give them much love either, but they seem to be doing better than my onions that were planted a bit earlier. Today I have mulched them with some lawn clippings. I ran out of petrol in the lawnmower, so I haven't been able to do as much of the lawn clippings as I would have liked. Now back at the late March, I planted out my potatoes, and compared to the ones at home, these ones are a bit behind. They're certainly a bit slower at growing, but they are poking their head through. I'm trying to keep on top of the weeds by running a hoe around them as regularly as possible. I'm just waiting for them to grow up a bit more bigger, then I'll cover them with some mulch from the compost bins, which that'll give them a really good boost. But they seem to be quite happy and growing. Now down this side I've got the strawberries. I mulched those with a straw, and they seem to be doing okay. Certainly the colour of the foliage seems pretty healthy since adding this straw, so I think that has made quite a difference. Now down here I have added some onions that I grew from seed. These were planted in December, and I never have great results with onions grown from seed. I seem to do a lot better with sets, but these ones seem to be doing okay so far at the moment. Seem to be better than what I would normally be expecting from my seed sown onions. Now this area here is where my beans and peas are going to go in, which again hopefully that'll be in the next couple of weeks. Because I'm not using that area, I have mulched it with some horse manure for the time being. I'm thinking this big bed is not working so well compared to the smaller beds I have on the other half of the allotment, but that's going to be something for the winter. Now my globe artichoke, that's off to a flying start. Hopefully we'll get some globe artichokes soon, because that thing just always seems to do quite well. Rhubarb again, as I said, that's off to a flying start here, producing a lot better than the ones at the top half of the allotment, but more importantly it's producing, and we're eating plenty of rhubarb. Asparagus bed full of weeds. Constant problem with that. My biggest lesson that I share with everyone with asparagus is make sure you prepare the bed before you grow anything in there. So I'm just going to move down into the bottom half of the pot by walking down this road. Now what you might see here, got an elder tree here that I planted, and as you can see, the branches are now starting to come out this way, which means I've got to really bring the hedge trimmer and cut it back just so it doesn't damage anybody's cars when they drive down here. Shame, because if we look at these flowers, and they are about to burst into flower, which is great because I love elderflower champagne, elderflower cordial, which is what I use these for. But there's plenty of other flowers on the other side, so I'll have to sacrifice this side and just make the most of what I've got. I am loving this pear tree. A few weeks ago this was just in a gorgeous blossom. It just looks stunning. Now this blossom has turned into these tiny little pear fruitlets, which they hopefully turn into pears. I'm probably going to have to thin some of these out, but we'll worry about that later on in the season. But actually the pears are just fantastic to get some pears. The compost bin, which I have right here, you may remember I built this end of March as well, and I've added a door and I've started to fill it with compost that came out of my older compost bin. Took a bit of work emptying it out, but what I've seen is that older compost bin has got some compost at the bottom that's going to be used on the potatoes, which that'll be very, very welcome. So now if we go down amongst the 6 main beds, on this side I've got my garlic. That's doing quite well. The rust on it is still there, and I just keep ripping the leaves off, as I said in a previous video. But it's not as bad as it has been in previous years. The comfrey mulch does keep rotting away, and I haven't been able to do as good a second coating as I did before. But that mulch has hopefully added some nutrients to the garlic, which will help them out. Now, this bed here I've got onions, and these were my earlier sown onions. It was a very, very weedy bed, and I've had a good clear out of the weeds the other day, and I've got to do it again. I said there were several areas, well, there's quite a few areas that weeds just take hold because I didn't clear it enough when I took on this allotment. But also these onions are starting to pot up flower stems. Not a huge problem because those flower stems are edible, and it just means they won't store as well. But compared to the ones at the top of the plot, they seem to be doing worse, and I can't quite figure out why. Brassica bed. Now the plants in there seem to be doing okay. I'd lost a couple, but that wasn't a huge problem. The wire mesh over the top, that did get blown off a couple of times, but we put that back into place, held it down, and that seems okay. And this bed here is going to be for sweet corn, which will go out in the next month. Just got to hoe it over. It's not that bad, it's just the way it is sometimes. It's just waiting to get that sweet corn in. Shallot bed that I mulched with lawn clippings. That is there, that is growing quite happily. Certainly finding that since I've added the lawn clippings, less time has been spent weeding that, which is great. So yeah, can't say any more than that. Just looking forward to when they are harvested. My broad beans, they're growing well, and I mentioned in the last tour, which was the April tour, I reckoned within a month we'll be getting broad beans. Well, we have got broad beans. They're very, very small. They are swelling up, but they are there, and they are going to be producing quite soon. In the greenhouse, I've not really got much to share with you in there because I did a video in there just the other day. I'm getting in shadow now, but I did a video in there the other day when it was raining, and all the plants in there are quite happy growing on. The cold frame, that's doing okay. The grass inside there has grown, so as expected, and I'm actually using the top of it at the moment more than anything. I've got my gutter peas, they're going to go in the ground soon, and I've also got some more brassicas, and they're just waiting to get in the ground. It's just one of those things I will be doing over the next few days. Now, carrots and parsnips I've done in these containers about a couple of weeks ago, if I remember right. The parsnips, they're off to a flying start. They seem to have germinated, which I'm really pleased about because a lot of people have trouble with parsnips, but they're here. Carrots, there was 2 varieties of carrots. The cosmic purple, which somebody said they had trouble germinating, and yeah, there's only a couple that have germinated in that. But the other variety, which I think are the Amsterdam Forcing, I can't remember, I'll put in the comment what it is, they have gone mad. They have germinated quite a few, and they're going to need a bit of thinning out later on. So that is a bit of a win. Bit of a win. Now, down in this corner, more gooseberries. Again, they're fruiting. They're doing okay. Just got to keep on top of them. But behind me, got my cherry tree, my hazel tree, and my cider apple tree. Now the hazel tree is just there growing. Probably got to trim that down at the top. But the cherry tree is what I'm really pleased about, because it flowered and those cherries are turning into fruits. So I've got to somehow try and net it to keep the birds off those cherries. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to eating those cherries. The variety, if I remember right, is Morello, so that is going to be delicious and I can't wait. So that's my allotment in May, beginning of May. How's your allotment looking, and what have you been up to in your own garden or allotment today? Please let me know in the comments. But for today, please take care. I'll see you again next time.